Hi there, name's Terry Fox Bark. Nice to meet you. I'm what is known as a YouTube hobo. I provide no measurable value to society. I have no qualifications in the real world. I don't know what I'm doing.
Extra Credits, a very interesting YouTube channel. Many of us forgot they existed around 3 years ago, after they did the fantastic video informing us why games should be more than $59.99.
AAA games should not cost $60 anymore.
Where'd that come from?
Now, they're $69.99. Good work, Extra Credits. Good work, guys. You literally told the gaming industry games should go up in price, and they did it. Yeah! Yeah! Progress! We win somehow. Of course, I this idea simply because gaming is a mess, in all honesty. Let's face it. Game prices go up, quality remains the same. Just like KFC chicken. The price go up, it still tastes like And somehow, a YouTube channel would praise this. You want that new Dark Souls for PS5? Demon Souls, my bad. Guess what? It's $69.99 now, you scrub. And I paid. I got a PS5. And honest to God, I am not feeling a major difference between this gen and last gen. Maybe it's because I play on PC. Literally, the games are just going to be PC ports. If anything, you're going to be playing similar games, just with higher resolution and higher visual fidelity. So basically, they're like, okay, turn the graphics from medium to high. Now charge them an extra $10. Extra Credits has come back. And if you thought the last take was bad, you can't see me, I'm doing karate moves. This one's even better. Evil races are bad at game design.
I am in shock!
Bioessentialism and world building. Okay, listen. Off the bat. Evil races are bad game design, then who the hell are we gonna fight? You want to play a game where you put on a knight armor and you catch butterflies? It's like, you want a game that doesn't have evil races? Play Animal Crossing.
This is cool. So this is like an outdoor like library between these two villager homes. I love this. It's so simple, but like the wood floor and the deck makes it feel like so just cozy. Like I could just sit up here and read a book all day.
You have options, you asshole. Good Lord. People can't even take a game based on real events. A night in Fallujah, Twitter's trying to get it taken down. Now Extra Credits is like, no, we can't have orcs. It's racist somehow. Don't worry, you'll see. Play it, Stu.
If you paid attention to the games discourse on the internet during 2019 and 2020, you might have noticed a reoccurring argument about some species from fantasy media, specifically orcs. Now, not to worry.
That dumbass Twitter shit where people are trying to equate orcs to black people, which basically, if you came up with that thought yourself, you racist. You know, if your first thought of looking at an orc was, oh, that's 50 Cent, you're racist. It has nothing to do with the rest of us. That's you. When I see an orc, I think, ah, yes, orcs. They beat and kill humans and eat them. Their skin is green, and they're usually very big.
This episode isn't going to be just another member of the chorus talking about how if all orcs in a game are blindly evil, that it's racist.
It's false. No way. Not this time. It's totally made up.
Instead, we want to discuss how that particular choice is simply bad game design.
You know what? Yakuza is racist because all the Yakuzas that are bad in the game are Japanese. God, I really wish Sony would clean up their act.
Please welcome James Mendez Hodes, who guest wrote this episode. Thanks so much, Mendez. Much of the recent conversation on orcs points out that characterizing a whole species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent might be harmful to real-world groups regularly mischaracterized as ugly, warlike, and malevolent.
Okay, why is the orc placed next to a black lady cartoon? So when you have hot orcs, because that's a thing. What is that? Is that like fan service? What is that? Where they like draw sexy orcs doing sexy stuff? I don't know, some sort of pornography I can't get the name of.
However, this video isn't that. Though if you want more on that discussion, Mendez breaks it down wonderfully over on his website, and we'll have a link to that in the description.
No, Mendez, not going to your website.
But here, we're going to talk about something related. Why characterizing a group like this in your game can be lazy at best, and at worst, actively harmful to the world you're creating. When designing a game's world and populating it with fictional species, a designer might be tempted to differentiate them from one another by certain inalienable qualities, like their moral alignment, violence.
I think most game designers are just trying to make the executives happy. I'm pretty sure they sit there and come up with great ideas, and then some nut who's creatively bankrupt walks in and goes, I don't know about this idea. Is there any way we can implement a microtransaction store to give this character extra skins? I don't know if this character has a lot of hype factor.
Versus peaceful, law versus chaos, good versus evil, and the like. It's a common trope in speculative fiction, but especially in the context of a game, painting an entire species with the same moral brush actually weakens the entire thing. This idea that a certain subgroup, like race...
Well, then who's going to be the enemy you fight in the game? In a fantasy game, who are you going to fight besides orcs, dark elves, the undead, necromancers, twisted gods? I mean, there's not a lot to choose from in these fantasy games. And God help you if you make like a race of people that are brown remotely evil or morally ambiguous. You'll get in a lot of trouble there. I think game designers have a tough job this day and age. 1, you got to try and make a good game. 2, you got to appease some jackass in a suit who doesn't have any creativity in his body. 3, you now have to deal with these moral people that are sitting there telling you making orcs bad is bad. What are you gonna do? I don't know why we live in this mad f***ing time where this is some sort of issue.
Nationality or sex has inalienable traits, is called biological essentialism or simply bioessentialism. And it's a valid way to talk about qualities like how many legs an animal has or whether it can fly. But all too often, this concept gets misused in untrue statements, like pit bulls are a violent breed.
I don't know, pit bulls, they could be sweet dogs. But have you ever come up on a stray pit bull? That motherfucker usually ain't looking for hugs. I can tell you that. I got the teeth marks in my left ass cheek to prove it. Pit bulls aren't evil or violent. Yeah, sure. Collies are another dog. Collie, man, you just run up on a stray dog. Or, man, I have been attacked by a border collie. Is that a border collie? The one that Lassie is. Yeah, border collies, bro.
Does your dig that? Oh? Let's dig it.
Men are more logical than women.
Okay, how are you going to sit here and tell me men aren't more logical than women? You could call me a misogynist all you want. I don't care. It is rare you come up against a woman that has just got brutal logic. Most chicks I have met in my life and or dated were ruled by emotions.
Now, bioessentialism is a tempting idea in fantasy for some of the same reasons as it is in the real world. Because to our human minds, broad generalizations are comforting. They reduce the world to simple cut and dry categories.
You know, I like cut and dry categories. There's the bathroom. There's no ambiguity to it. Men's room, women's room, unisex. There you go. There's the bathroom. I like that sort of generalization. I'd hate to go to like a gas station like, hey, I gotta take a piss. And they're like, choose a bucket in the back if you can find it.
All orcs bad, all elves good. Root for these folks, not for these folks.
Okay, this one's bullshit. Not all elves are good. Hello. Most dark fantasy games, books, and novels, there are dark elves, drower elves. We could go on and on, sir.
But just like in the real world, bioessentialism can present problems in fiction as well. Specifically, a moral one. The idea that is...
So, you're gonna tell me a jelly monster that eats human flesh, I'm supposed to say there's a possibility it's a cool dude or dudette. I don't know what jelly monsters are. And the giant standing up crocodile, I saw one try and eat a puppy like a month ago.
Sapient species can inherently tend towards good or evil acts, or lawful or chaotic ones. And that moral essentialism actually undercuts the great...
So I guess like we're trying to like... What's the point of this video, actually? Like, we're trying to say that, like, it's bad game design for orcs being made evil in most cases. Like, it's just a video game, you know? We need some sort of villain. And they almost paint it like the orcs in the game have no choice, but they're not sentient beings. It's a video game. I don't... Like, what are we doing here? Are we trying to give rights to sprites?
This strength games can bring to storytelling. The player's own power to make meaningful, interesting choices and judgments for their characters, including moral ones. So if a game's creative choices apply a moral valuation to every member of an entire species before the players even meet them, well, now that's just taking that power away from the players. And in turn, if a group of orcs, for instance, doesn't even have a choice about their actions, are they actually evil? Because look.
Okay, this is where the video gets kind of stupid. You expect game designers who are working under the crunch, that have CEOs breathing down their neck, managers and shareholders, forcing them to get out a game in time that's probably been overhyped and overpromised to a massive mob of people online who will vilify and lynch them if the game falls short of godlike. You want them to somehow also make an open world game where you get to make your own choices of moral ambiguity. This is a fantasy video. The last game that tried to create an open world on that scale is called Star Citizen. And it's been in development since, what, 2015? And I don't think it's ever coming out. Because the goddamn guy in charge of it doesn't have any overhead. And you need overhead in gaming so people who are massive dreamers can be just pulled in. Like, I understand letting someone be creative, but it's a whole other thing when this creative person keeps coming up with new shit and didn't finish the shit they started. Hold on. I got some new ideas. We're going to put this one on the back burner. No, you finish that one so people get something. It's impossible. This game can't exist in this current day and age. One, the tech isn't there. Two, let's face it, what corporation would take that risk? And three, how much would it cost to make?
If a person, say, destroys a house, we call that evil because they chose to do so. But if a tornado destroys a house, well, I mean, is wind evil? No. Therefore, if a game's world building chooses to program every member of a species to destroy, aren't they more like the tornado?
Okay, why are we taking a natural disaster and using that as an argument for a pre-programmed character or race in a video game that's meant to make you have fun so that you could feel you have some power over your miserable, empty life, where the real world constantly just takes a steaming dump on you? Your relationship's garbage. Your job sucks.
Me, I'm tight.
There's a virus outside. You can't even go hang out. You know, you can't go outside and just play and touch football anymore. That's gone now. And all of a sudden, there's some YouTube group that thinks, whoa, you playing video games with orcs is forcing them to be evil. Do they want this? They don't exist. So what does it matter? My God, one day, you know, we're going to have a movement of people who are going to scream something like video game characters have rights. It'll come, because that's how stupid the world is.
Now, if the player's characters are able to make moral choices, but an entire class of NPCs is inherently evil regardless of their choice, then the game is either telling the player that moral choices don't matter, or it's simply driving a wedge between the player's morality and the morality that applies to the rest of the world, blocking the player from further becoming a part of it.
You! Yes, you!
You know what's blocking me from getting immersed in a video game world? Good writing. Good storytelling. That's what's blocking me. All right. I could play Yakuza and get into the game and lose hours. I don't think twice. I don't sit there and think, oh no, there's no characters that represent me. Oh, where were all the brown people? I was playing Yakuza Kiwami. The biggest guy in the cage fight was a big black dude that talked like he had Down syndrome. Guess what? I laid the smack down even though he threw my head into a wall.
What broke him down? Was it just
constantly body punches? When I was hitting him with body punching, I heard him, actually he was crying in there, making woman gestures like, I can't.
But whatever, it didn't bother me. I didn't sit there and go, wow, it's like Japan thinks every big black guy's Mike Tyson. Ooh, I'm triggered. No, I'm just trying to play the game. I'm trying to be the dragon of Dojima. Because the story's that good, I don't care. I want to live there. The problem I have with gaming now in the Western sphere is shit like this. Developers are so scared to do anything that'll piss off some interest group that they can't even be remotely creative.
Experience. Okay, but now you might be asking, what if you're playing the kind of game where you're engaging in violence because it's exciting and fun? not because of its moral dimensions, where the meaningful choice is about tactics rather than ethics. Maybe the goal is to take moral calculus out of the problem. Sure, one solution might be saying, all orcs are evil, go ahead and shoot them. But in that situation, as soon as someone inadvertently feels some empathy, as people often do for anything seeming even vaguely alive, the easy answer becomes less easy. And if the goal of your game is to stop players from engaging in moral debates and just fight some bad guys, you kinda gotta say something more reliable than, oh, it's fine, they were all born this way. Fortunately.
Oh my god, are you telling me that I need to think twice about ripping a demon's head off in Doom, essentially? I'm done with this, dude. I don't care. I don't. There's a whole other 8 minutes, not 8, it's like 4 more minutes. I don't get what their point is at all. It seems stupid to me, genuinely. Orcs being made evil or something, or what about the undead that eat people's flesh? Am I supposed to not see them as something I should kill? Should I take the zombie to counseling? You know, why did you eat Bobby? No, he's a zombie. Could you let the zombie speak for itself, Gundam? Well, no, because his vocal cords are rotted, just like his fucking soul. And then they go, okay, take him out of here. He is too toxic. I thought what stunk in here was the smell of rotting flesh, but what I actually was smelling was your bigotry towards the undead, Gundam. Get out. Ah! I can't do it, dude.
The real world's made progress on this problem, because sometimes in this day and age, people actually bear visual signifiers which say, I'm evil, not because of where I was born, but because of the choices I've made, such as Nazi uniforms and clan hoods.
I'm the problem. I choose to use common sense, and as we all know, silence is violence, and words can be harmful or dangerous or something like that. I can't remember the phrase.